What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikaPikaPaPa, and today we're talking singles cards under $20. And I am so excited to do this because we haven't been talking about singles cards a lot as of late, and that's because, I bring you guys along for the same collecting and investing journey that I'm on personally, and, I've been focusing a lot on sealed. The singles card markets, a lot of prices have been coming down, especially in Sun and Moon, but even in Sword and Shield, and I've just been kind of waiting for that market to settle down a little bit, and I've really been focusing on those Sword and Shield sealed products because I think the windows of opportunity for that product is closing rapidly. But here we are. I'm at the point where I have found some cards that I think are really interesting. They've got the opportunity, to possibly give us some long-term price appreciation, and if nothing else, I think they're just some awesome cards and awesome artwork at some amazing price points. Now, I always have a focus when I do a video like this, right? So today I'm looking for Sword and Shield specific cards because I think Sword and Shield is just going to be an epic era, and I'm doing a whole video on that, probably next week or the week after. I'm also looking for cards that have hit or are starting to hit a support line. So basically that means whenever the card reaches a certain point, it almost always pops back up in value because the market is there to absorb it. Like if a card hits $10 and it always ends up popping back up to $11, that means that $10 is the support line for that card, and I like it when that seems to be established. Certainly doesn't mean that it can't break past that point in the future, but at this stage of the market, with the singles prices falling like they have been, when I see a pattern there, it makes me feel really, really good. Again, I always look for epic sets or epic subsets. Spoiler alert, in Sword and Shield, big fan of trainer galleries and alt art, so you'll see a couple of them on there. And then I'm always looking for previous comps or previous trends, right? I'm a big believer in taking lessons from the past, applying them to the present to hopefully give us some idea of what might happen in the future. Now, I'm doing the cards under $20 today. In the next couple days, I've got one for under $10 as well that's coming out, and that video has some really cool cards on it. So listen, if this kind of stuff gets you excited, if you enjoy this type of content, hit that subscribe button. If you have questions or comments, drop them down below. And as always, if you like what you see, give us a big old thumbs up. Those three small things go a long way in helping my small channel out, and I really appreciate it. So with that being said, let's get into this, and I had to start the list off with this card, even though it's just a hair over $20 at this point. That's the Pikachu Trainer Gallery from Lost Origin. Listen, I love Lost Origin. I think it's going to be one of the best sets in the Sword and Shield block. I love Pikachu. Pikachu is always one of, if not the most graded character in the TCG space in general, not just in Pokemon, so obviously a lot of love there. And I do think Trainer Galleries might have the opportunity to pop off in the future. I don't think it's going to follow any kind of same pattern that we saw in some of these Sun and Moon era cards, because I think they got a lot of pump from the pandemic, but I do think that trainer galleries are being undervalued right now. So Pikachu, Lost Origin, Trainer Gallery card, I absolutely love all of that. And again, you see that at $20 right there on the graph on the left, it has a lot of support, right? So you see that the market at $20 has just been buying this card up, so I feel like $20 is a pretty good bottom, at least for now. So I love everything about this card. I love the $20 price point. I'm absolutely all over this. I already have one in the collection. I'm trying to find a couple more because I could see myself having 3 or 4 different ones of these and just being really, really happy about it. So the next card on this list is a little bit of a surprise, especially if you follow this channel a lot. I'm always about big name Pokemon, and but this one right here, okay, so the Unknown from Silver Tempest. Now, sometimes the stars and the moon and everything aligns, and these sets just kind of pop off, but sometimes it does the opposite, and I think Silver Tempest was the product of just really, really bad timing, because I think the set is a lot better than the card prices and the sealed prices are reflecting right now. Think about it. Now, it was the last regular set in the Sword and Shield era, so it was in the middle of its normal Pokemon pop and flop, as I call it, right? Sets come out and their card prices drop. Well, in the middle of its normal drop in price, it also went through a market downturn, right? Like the market was really, really hot, and then it started to cool off. So I think all of these things were really putting downward pressure on Silver Tempest products in general. And this card right here was one of the big chases. I mean, look at that graph. 12 months ago, it was all the way up at $40, and now it's down to $15. And I'm going to tell you this, if you were to drill down into the last month, you'll see that it's really starting to find a lot of support at that $15 mark. And this is the 5th most expensive card in Silver Tempest. It's crazy to say that the 5th most expensive card in what could be a really awesome set in Silver Tempest is only $15, but that's where we're at right now. And again, I think alt arts have a very, very, very bright future in the Sword and Shield block, and just overall in the Pokemon collecting and investing space in general. So you get one of the top cards in Silver Tempest, you get an alt art for $15, like I don't know what you need. I think there's low risk in this, and I'm absolutely pumped to have this one here on the list. Now, the next card right here is one that I'm not buying. I'm gonna call this out right now. I'm just gonna say this card is still in the process of falling, even though I said I was looking for support lines, but This is something I've been monitoring closely. It's under $20, and I thought that I would just bring it to this video. Now, a lot of trainer cards were overhyped, right? I think a lot of people saw the excitement and the value of the Japanese variants, and so people piled in here in the US, but you know, the Japanese ones, much harder pull rates, and honestly, the art is just better. Even if it's the same card, the texture, the depth of the cards over in Japan are just better. So, you know, I think trainer cards here in the US kind of got overinflated for a bit, but guess what? I still think some of them can outperform, and this is one of the cards I have a lot of faith in. I love Crown Zenith. Like, I know right now Crown Zenith isn't getting all the love, but I think 2, 3, 4 years down the road, Crown Zenith is just going to be an amazing set. The artwork's fire, like the pull rates are pretty decent. Big fan of Crown Zenith. And the thing I love about this card for me is you got Charizard in the background, you got Pikachu in the background. Like, the pose of this young lady is just very relatable to me. It makes me think of my oldest daughter where she's sitting on a couch with her headphones on, not really listening to me, just kind of in her own world. So I love the art. You know, I think it's from an epic set, and I do think that I'm going to continue to watch this, especially if it starts getting in the $15 range. I'm going to be picking this up left and right because I think that this will be the best trainer card in the Crown Zenith set, and I think this one has a very bright future. Again, not buying it now, certainly keeping an eye on it, and I thought it was worthy of being on this list. Now, the next one right here, okay, hear me out. This is a card you would almost probably never expect to be on a PikaPikaPaPa list, but this Sneasler card right here, one of the things that jumped out at me when I was doing all of my research, I always look at price graphs and I look for trends there, was the fact that the price on this has been really steady since August. Now remember, I talked about this earlier in the video, right? Like, the Pokemon market as a whole from August until now was really on a downward trend. So when I see a card that performs opposite of the trend, it lets me know that, hey, there's a lot of support at that price point. And this was at $19.50, kind of bounced around sub 20, high $19 there for that entire period. So that lets me know that is a really good basement, a really well-founded basement. Now, again, Astral Radiance is one of the later Sword and Shield sets, so it could still drop a little bit, but man, think about it. If during the worst of times, during the last couple months when most cards were falling apart, this one remained flat, I think there's a bright future for it. Again, an alt art, and what I really like about this, I don't care the name on the card, the epic artwork. Like, I think this is just one of those cards where the art can absolutely propel it to, you know, some really bright futures. I love the art. You know, I think Astral Radiance might be getting slept on a little bit as a set as whole. So I love the art. I love it's an alt art. Love Astral Radiance, and I love the fact that this has seen such strong support at $20. It makes me think that when we go through our next market upturn, that this card could, you know, have the ability to outperform. So really excited about this card, and again, not a typical PikaPikaPaPa card, but I am absolutely hunting for these on eBay right now. Now, this one right here, I've talked about in the past, especially when I did trainer gallery videos, because this Sylveon from Brilliant Stars, I really love this. Now, there's two different trainer gallery Sylveons in the Brilliant Stars set. This is the one that I like more, okay? Epic Pokemon, right? Brilliant Stars is another one, just like I said for Lost Origin. Like, I think Brilliant Stars is going to be one of the best sets in the Sword and Shield block as well. So you got an epic set. You know, I've already talked about trainer galleries. Like, they're not going to perform like tag teams, but I do think it can be a subset that does really well. And now when you look at the price point of this card, this is one that has actually been a bit on the upturn. Now, it's been really choppy. So it seems like every time the card tries to come back down, the market has been buying it up. You know, it hit its down, not all-time low, but it hit its one-year low there at $14.50 back in October. And ever since then, it's been chopping its way up. Now, I think that Brilliant Stars, once Brilliant Stars sells out, right, and once Brilliant Stars starts to become harder to find, I think then we'll really get a better understanding of what these singles cards can do in the long run. And I love buying singles cards at that 12, 18, even 24-month mark. You know, and this one is certainly getting close to there. It's definitely within that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to Brilliant Stars cards in the future, but I do think that this card at its current price point has a really good opportunity to outperform in the future. Now, what do I always do? You know, I always say I'm going to give you 5, and I can't do that. I do all this research and I come up with all these cards, and I think, why would I just not share all of them with you? So I'm going to share with you 2 more ones that I didn't think were quite good enough to be on the list of top 5, but I do have a lot of faith in. So Battle Styles. I think Battle Styles is one of the most underloved sets in all of Sword and Shield. Like, yeah, it doesn't have all the big names on it, but that Sleepy Tyranitar is awesome. We've got all kinds of alt arts in there. Right now, you can pick up booster boxes for like 115 bucks. The booster boxes are still available on the Pokemon Center, but I love this Phoebe, right? Phoebe, we always see trainers, no matter what. Go back as far as you want to. You usually see a trainer card in the top 5 of most sets, and this Phoebe card right here, I think, has the opportunity to be at least in the top 3 here in Battle Styles once everything shakes out in the future. Now, the other thing that I will say is the art on this card really reminds me of some of the other arts on trainer cards that we've seen perform really well. Go and look at some of the Sun and Moon trainer cards that have been able to, you know, kind of retain their value while the rest of the market has been coming down. That's what I like about this card, is that I can see other cards that are visually similar to me, and they've been able to retain their price point. So I don't think Battle Styles is going to be the best set in the Sword and Shield block, but I think it's underloved, and I think the artwork on this has enough for this card to be propelled, you know, maybe not into, it's not going to be a $100 card in the future or anything like that, but if I can spend $10, $12 on a card like this, and it ends up being a $30, $40 card, plus it's an amazing piece of artwork, like, what more do you want in the Pokemon space? That's a win all the way around. And then this one right here, this is my ultimate flyer of flyers, right? So this is a Black Star promo, and they had these boxes that came out. We've talked about the 3 boxes, the Vaporeon, you know, the Flareon and the Jolteon Ultra Premium Collection boxes, and I have been really, really high on them ever since they came out, and the graph on the far left is the box that this Vaporeon comes in right here, and they're just absolutely on fire. Now, the VMAX version of this is the more expensive one. It's got a little more glitz and glam to it, and that one gets all the love, but this card right here is being slept on. I do think $20.73 is a pretty high price to pay for this, considering the box is only at 93 bucks, so I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to keep an eye on this. One of the things I also love is look at the grade. So there's only 843 PSA 10s of this out there, and there's been 2,147 PSA 9s, right? That means that there is a ton of people who sent this card through to PSA expecting or hoping to get a 10, and they only ended up with a 9, right? When you put the whole grading pool together, including 6s, 7s, and 8s, only 25% or like 23% of all the cards that were submitted to PSA ended up getting a 10. I absolutely love it when we see that in these cards. We know that those boxes are notorious for being hard graders. I know I've sent a few of these through and I haven't had any of them bust a 10, and I'm a pretty good pre-screener. So anyways, I'm just excited about this card. I think that it's something I'm going to keep an eye on. Again, still $21 might be a little too rich for my blood right now, but I'm going to keep an eye on it, and I thought it was really cool to call it out, this Black Star promo from those really awesome boxes. So that's it. That's the list for this week. And again, as I said, listen, we've got a video coming out later this week that is going to be an under $10 view, and there are some really cool cards on that list as well, and I can't wait to get it in front of you. So if you enjoyed the content, if you found value in this, hit that subscribe button. Questions or comments, drop them down below. As always, if you like what you saw, give us a big old thumbs up. I appreciate you more than I can possibly say. Please understand that. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an epic one. Talk to y'all later. Bye.